Hello, I'm Karina. We're here at the CSUN campus at the Soraya. I graduated in May this year, a few months ago. I majored in theater and I minored in child and adolescent development. I was here for 5 years, and my sophomore year I took a break and I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. And throughout my time here, I did community theater. I obviously did a little bit of theater on campus as well.
Pero, Gabriela, ¿por qué?
Eres pendejo.
And now I am looking for a day job so I can keep doing community theater at night and professional as well. So my first play, I was 9 years old. It was during a summer school program. I was cast as Alice in Alice in Wonderland. And from that moment on, I absolutely fell in love. I did a lot of school plays, and then when I was 13 years old, I started doing the youth program at Will Geer Theatricum Botanicum, which is an outdoor Shakespeare theater in Topanga Hills. It's a really nice place. And so it was there that I learned Shakespeare, diction, classical works, things like that. And that's my theater history, but I've done a little bit of film as well. I did voiceovers for Lifetime movies from 2018 to 2019. I was in Cradles for Cash, Saving My Baby, etc. My strength is that I am a hard worker and I will really dive into something if it means a lot to me, and I bring unique things to the table. My weakness is that I am not a fast learner. There's actually a quote from the book, The Princess Bride. It wasn't in the movie, but it was in the book. And it was talking about Inigo's past. And the author said that Inigo was not a particularly fast learner, but he was a good one. And I feel like that describes me. One thing I wish that more people knew about theater is that it's not just a world of entertainment, although it most certainly is that. It also helps in the realm of mental health, physical health, social health, things like that. It's been proven statistically that when theater is implemented in the prison system, it decreases violence in the prison yard by 80%. Kaiser actually has a director of drama, so they do theater in that, and theater is also used in therapy. Theater is not just you go in and you see this proscenium and stage and fancy chairs and fancy costumes and all that. It's a lot more. So it's been a long journey for 15 years now, and I hope it will continue for the rest of my life. I always will consider the stage to be my home. I also hope that I will write plays that will be produced both nationally and internationally. And who knows? I just know that art will always be part of my life.
在我30多年的护理工作经验，我知道为卧床或者就是不卧床的病人整理床铺是护理人员每天工作的一项重要的工作。它可以提供给患者舒适的环境，避免并发症的发生。我们必须要保持床单位的整洁清洁，还有就是使患者感觉舒适。同时还可以观察到患者的病情，看是否有压疮的发生，或者是否床单元被湿了，就是有物理性状改变，我们需要及时更换的。饮食对我们每个人来说都是很重要的，特别是老人或者就是一些病人，就尤其的重要。在我这些年当中，有遇到过很多这样的老人的牙齿不好，为了保证营养素的摄入，有时我们需要改变食物的性状，比如说一些坚硬的食物，我们需要用料理机给它打碎，还有一些就是比较干的，像面包、馒头，我们可能要给它放一些水进去，让它变得软烂，更加易于吞咽。我喜欢做菜，做一些适合自己的菜。我的父亲有一段时间喜欢吃腌制的食物，腌制的肉类特别是，但是众所周知，腌制的食物含有大量的亚硝酸盐，是一种明确的致癌物质。然后我就建议他减少摄入的频次和摄入的量。平时的日常生活中，尽量少吃腌制食物。改善食物营养素摄入的做法很简单，豆干也是有植物蛋白，还有膳食纤维，比如鱼，它可以为我们提供大量的优质蛋白质。西红柿它含有大量的维生素 C， 胡萝卜它有主要维生素 A 提供。葱，它可以提供 B 族维生素，香菜同样也是 B 族维生素。这些蔬菜里面，它不单是维生素，它也会含一些钙呀、钠呀、钾呀、脂肪啊、蛋白质啊，也是营养很全的一些食材。我们把这些食材放一起，加了喜欢的汤，然后可以做一个营养又好吃的美食，它的名字叫酸汤鱼。吃好吃对很重要。
Hi, my name is Darina Hovsepian. I am a student at CSUN and I teach kids how to draw.
Art, cartoons, TV shows, movies, like comics all had like a huge impression on me. When I was younger, I drew on my notes, I drew on my projects. It just felt natural. Sometimes, like whenever I am out and about, I like carrying sketchbooks just to like write something down or doodle it. It's just nice. I'm attending CSUN and I'm specifically going for an art degree with a concentration of graphic design. With the rise of AI, I kind of like felt less confident in my illustrations being like considered when it comes to finding a job, so I figured that graphic design was a safe transition At that point, you know, like at least I know how to use a computer, Adobe, and stuff like that. So this is my natural forms project. This is a project I made for my 3D design class, and basically what we were tasked to do was to make a abstract piece with a piece of nature, like a leaf or something like a cloud or something like that. And I wanted to pick a cordyceps. And basically what it is, it's a parasitic fungi towards like arthropods, like ants. So it's nicknamed the killer ant disease, and it was featured in a game called The Last of Us. So I kind of just took inspiration from that, and I try to make it look like visceral and gross and zombie and fleshy like. Yeah. I basically work at an art studio called Arvest Art Studios every other day that I'm not at school. I teach kids how to draw and paint and fundamentals of art. I'd rather be dealing with a 5-year-old having a tantrum than a 30-year-old having a tantrum. I never thought of myself as a teacher, but like, I don't know, kids respond well to how I like talk to them. Some kids like being taken seriously, and it's funny because I was kind of like the same way when I was a kid. It's very like rewarding. Like I understand how my mom feels now because she's a preschool teacher. She loves it. She absolutely loves it. On my days off, I like to be out and about, play video games. I like to go to shows for my favorite musicians. I prioritize like my peace of mind a lot. I really like being at home, but I also like doing stuff. Like I do like drawing, I do like playing video games, I do like going out and seeing shows like Death Grips and JPEG Mafia. But yeah, sometimes it's just nice to like sit down and relax. Financial stability. That's the goal right now. I would love to do anything with art, but every year that passes, I slowly like get discouraged, but I don't stop trying. I still keep going, even if it doesn't seem plausible. I'm just like, I still want to do something with art. I just have to talk to the right people. Networking is like an artist's best friend, you know? The only advice I could give in terms of college is if you feel as if you're being wronged by like someone from the financial aid office or anyone like at school, like a teacher, don't be afraid to like speak up about it, because 9 times out of 10 like you're gonna like have your problem resolved. I guess.
Karina Quintero. I've been an athlete my entire life. Growing up, one of my uncles was into wrestling, so which kind of got my grandmother into the scene as well. So I just remember watching boxing matches and wrestling matches as I was growing up as a kid. My other grandmother as well would always watch boxing matches on TV, would go to Vegas to the boxing matches, which in turn got my dad into it as well. And since I was a kid, he always had this saying of bang, bang, pop. So it was like a 1-1-2. So he would always hold his hands up to me and say, bang, bang, pop. So I was just always interested. When I moved to LA, I had a friend that mentioned like, oh, I have my friend's a boxing trainer out there. And as soon as I put those like mitts on, or my gloves on and was hitting the mitts, it was just like, it just clicked for me. And that was about 6 years ago, but I would say within the last like 6-7 months, I took on a new trainer, Salu, and he has just turned my game around. Like We focus on technique, we focus on, you know, real life situations. You know, if you were in the ring, more defensive stuff. He's very adamant about the way I train, and I've just been loving it ever since. It's really something I have to do on a weekly basis to kind of keep me going and keep my head in the game with the craziness. I don't know about a career out of it, but I would definitely get in the ring and do some fighting for fun. Getting in the ring and sparring is definitely, you know, probably the closest as of right now. I'm like, my pretty face. Like, I don't know if I want to do that. And I think it'd definitely be fun. I just don't have the time right now. I own my own marketing and social media management company. Do a lot of marketing strategies, business strategies, social media management, running marketing campaigns through client social medias, growing businesses, seeing what markets certain businesses can dive into. I do this for Yamashiro, Hollywood, one of the biggest restaurants in LA. My office is at Yamashiro. Okay, so it's Saturday. We're working. We have some events. They're like a shopping event. It's pretty crazy. Sometimes I look back at my day, I'm like, how did I just even do that? So I would say a really big challenge for me is the separation between work and personal life. So finding that balance. I never really shut off. You know, like work never really shuts off. I still need to find that balance because I feel like I'm a pretty personable person. I have a really good relationship with a lot of my clients, but with that comes them reaching out to you dawn, them reaching out to you 10 o'clock at night. So being able to set those boundaries, and with that comes making time for friends, making time for significant others, things like that, and that's still with that balance. I'm only a year and a half in, you know, really under my company of Zeneko. And so, yeah, I would say I'm definitely still fine-tuning. I'm definitely still figuring it out. I would really love to see the day that my agency comes full circle and I have a place for a client to come and just feel like, you know what, this is everything we need to grow our business. So kind of your one-stop shop. I want a company or a client to be able to come in and we can run your ads, we can run your marketing campaigns, we can grow your business, we can run your socials. I do what I do because I love it, and I get to be a creative at the end of the day in a different sense than what most people would think as a creative. But I get to it's amazing to see these ideas in my head and see them happen, for my clients.
My name is Coley Stapleton, and I am a IT help desk support specialist at Alma Waterways River Cruises, and I am also a competitive coach for the esport called Rocket League. I also am a assistant coach for table tennis. I tend to do a couple stretches in the morning, but before that, I'll check my phone, see if anybody texted me or, just the normal stuff. And then afterwards, I'll walk into the restroom and brush my teeth, wash my face, get my hair together. Afterwards, I'll then, get dressed and head to the bus. funny question. So, I actually, way back in high school, I started playing ping pong at one of my friend's house. And ever since then, I kind of had it in the back of my head subconsciously, like I wanted to play ping pong. Like that was something I wanted to do. Maybe 2 years after high school, that's when I left, well, 2.5 years after high school, I left Pierce. And after I left Pierce, I ended up getting into table tennis essentially. So that was probably closer to the start of this year. That's a good question. Well, maybe choose ping pong. A lot of it has to do with the qualities that I have possessed and that I have, you know, trade skills in when I grew up. So, for instance, IT, that's you have to be very detail oriented. So in table tennis, like when you're playing the sport, you have to be very focused and detail oriented. Graphic design brings the creativity out of it. So certain things that happen during a match, you will have to, you know, play it on the fly, if you will, because it's all in real time. And then also for coaching, you always have to be able to prepare yourself with some sort of training regimen, not only for the team, but also the individual players. Why the IT field? Okay, so when I was a kid, loved technology, loved video games, right? So I thought I was gonna be in some sort of game design. Decided not to really pursue that as much as computers, just because I really liked delving into what a computer does, how it functions, and that slowly drove me into the software of computers. That would help me to then get to where I am now, which is a IT specialist help desk. So that's the title that I do now. So my best experience, I do have a few highlights that happen. My best experience though would have to be, it's more general, I guess you could say. But to be more specific, I would definitely say my best experience was seeing a team that I coached for maybe 4 or 5 months going into like a tournament and excelling tremendously above their like bar. It was insane. They were playing well above their rating, and it was great because we had prepared them to do that slowly but surely, and then eventually there was actually a guy on the team that had to focus more on his college, and so we picked up another person, and with that person it was almost like a perfect fit.
Hi, my name is Josefa Simon. I'm a breast cancer survivor for 17 years. What happened is 17 years ago, I found out I have a small lump under my left breast, and I went to check it without even being worried because I don't have any history in my family. So I went to Kaiser and they found that I have cancer. They told me I'll have to do take off all my left breast, but before they said they will take a piece of it. It's called lipectomy. When I went to the hospital and did the lipectomy, that's the first surgery I did, because after that I had like 10 more surgeries. They said the margin weren't clean and they have to remove the whole left breast. A month after, I went and did the surgery, and during the surgery they said that my lymph nodes on my left hand were affected, and they had to remove 14 odd of my lymph nodes on my left armpit. Then 7 of them were like positive. I have a very aggressive cancer, and I was pretty young. I was only 36. I did a lot of chemo. I think I did like 8 sessions of chemo. The first one put me down for a few days. And during all that time, I had 3 beautiful children, twins. They're like 3 years old, and another boy is 2 years old. After that, I had to do radiation. The radiation was walk in the park compared to the chemo, but it was still hard. It was burning my skin, and I had to go it every day during the week. And I think I did it for like 4 weeks. A year after, I had to do the reconstruction surgery, and it's called a flap. They take the skin from your stomach and put it in your breast. That was a very, very hard surgery. I had to go, it was like 12, 13 hours in the hospital, in the surgery, and then I was like 3 days in the hospital. The recovery was very hard. My sister came from Israel to help with the kids. My ex-husband was taking care of the kids too. All this time he was helping. So I think in total, in 2 years, I had like maybe 10 surgeries. Some of them big, some of them minor. After all the surgeries, then I had a change in life method. So I got to be vegetarian. I stopped eating meat, and I started eating low carb diet. I lost like 50 pounds with that, and it's a healthy life of living. I gained a little bit back, but that's that's normal. But I try to keep everything low carb. I use, instead of regular flour, like almond flour, I use nut sugar like stevia, monk fruit sugar, that it's more healthy. I try to keep sugar down as much as I can. So this is a little bit how it's affecting my life now, but most of it's gone. Like, I have some issue with my left side, scar tissues from all the surgeries, like I said, and but I learned how to live with it, and I'm thankful for having only this trouble in my life right now. It's affected my life. It's affected my life view on life. My kids don't remember much because they were little. I show them pictures. They don't remember much that I lost all my hair and my eyebrow, my nails. Everything grew back. Like you see, I have hair. I have everything back. I still have some scar tissue from all the surgeries, and I still have some movement with my left hand that I cannot do. I can, but it's hurting if I move it not the right way. But totally, I recover. I check myself. I go to Kaiser, to oncology in the beginning it was every 3 months. After that it was every 6 months. And now I think I go once a year because it's already 17 years. And hopefully it will never come back. And I'll see my kids growing and get married and have grandchildren and live a long life.
Right to the refrigerator I go. It's my favorite place. My name is Phil Paul Call. That is my actual born name. It's actually Philip Paul Call. I am the owner and operator of 444 Production and Development. I started off as an actor. I graduated from the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. Acting wasn't my thing. As an actor, I had no control over what my career was. It was all based on how I looked. As a filmmaker, it was so rewarding to produce something that has all of these moving parts and pieces.
Hello. Hello, I'm Brad. This is Bandwagon Media and also the Woodshed Studios. I started working in the entertainment industry when I was 2 years old, doing commercials and TV shows and movies. I worked really throughout my whole childhood on lots of different types of projects, including over 100 commercials and Disney movies, The Apple Dumpling Gang, No Deposit, No Return, Return from Witch Mountain, and more.
The company that I started basically was formed from my desire to continue to work in this industry. So I decided to work for myself. So when I worked for other people, I worked 10 hours a day. Now that I work for myself, I work 24 hours a day. But it's worth it. What I've been able to accomplish and do in my field, which is factual filmmaking, when in building this company, we've figured out our brand, which is paranormal, UFOs, crime, kind of darker stuff on that side. But there's a very big demand in the market. Our podcast for our crime series is over 1 million downloads now. We've produced 3 original series and we do production services for others. We've probably done 52 episodes of television in the last 2 years.
Been doing Bandwagon Media for about 12 years with my partner Greg, and we started doing commercial work, and also we did a couple of features and everything sort of in between. We had some TV shows and then lots of like industrials and live stream projects. So we do a little bit of everything, and music. We have a host of different creative types that work here, that we collaborate with and work on various different projects. We have a control room behind us. We have an artist loft and with painters. We have a production company, true crime projects, and all kinds of other syndicated TV shows and first-run TV shows.
To have some fun, we're going to a movie and it starts at 1. It's a Saturday.
The band that started off as the Band from TV, which is now called the Action Figures. So we do lots of events and gigs that way as a band. And that's kind of what we do. We've been here just having fun and trying to keep busy, have fun.
All our eyes are on the screen, watching a movie that we've already seen. It's a Saturday.
Starting to get involved in editing and production. The last film I did as an actor was a movie called Red Dawn in the mid-'80s. And then I segued into post-production and more creative side and getting behind the camera. And so I did that starting on a TV show called Alf. I was a runner on that show, a PA, and I then got into post-production and then started editing. And I was an editor for 30 years, basically 25 years, making movie trailers was my main goal or my main projects.
I've learned more in my career than I've ever learned in school. So it's funny to me that I don't do well in school, but I do really well in game time, in this part of the business. But it's all because these are my interests. My interest and love is this. So when I say that, I mean, find a job that you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And that's what I did.
Today.
Alright, so for me, my name is Joshua Campos. I'm 20 years old and my main hobby is going to be about cars. So right now, what I'm going to start with is that right here what's behind me is my Dash G37 Sport manual transmission. It of course is a V6 HR engine as well. And for that, how I got into cars is pretty much from my dad, pretty much. So I have a 2008 Honda Civic. Right now it's not right here real quick because I have it parked outside. But we might take a little peek out of it and I'll tell you guys what I built from this. But right now we're going to point out what we did with this car right here. Alright, and what I gotta say about this for this Infiniti G37S, it's not a regular model, is that the performance is amazing. Reason why? Because it's a V6 HR engine, and honestly, it runs pretty good. I ride it with my dad. For me, I'm not used to manual that much, so for me, I'm a Prindle guy. If you guys don't know what that is, it's pretty much an automatic transmission of the PRNDL, what you guys see in every basic model car. But in this case, this is actually a rare car for a G37 because most of these came in automatic. But this one came as a manual transmission, OEM. So what I got to point out for this, what I love about this was mostly about the power. The power, which comes with 330 horsepower, and honestly, it handles like a dream. So if you guys look right here, it has some modifications to it. Right now we're running with an engine cold air intakes, and honestly, that thing handles it. You could hear more of the throttle of it. And plus we also did a little bit upgrade to the little radiator. So we upgraded the silicone hoses and the little radiator cap so you can have a better cooling. And what we have here for these two big main pieces will be our stroke bar to have a better handling to it. And of course, just for show and to have, you know, be flashy and have some money, we are carbon fiber cover. So for the exterior, it was actually black in the first time, but he decided he wanted to wrap it, and of course we got it from Vinyl Frog. And that was the best thing that we ever had for that. So if you guys see here, this is from Vinyl Frog, and we did this, I believe, about a week. But overall, what this is called is the Red Scale Dragon. The one you want to get was from Tiny Bug, but was over our price. But what's crazy about this wrap cost about nearly $700, and we got it on a sale, which was $400 instead. And honestly, that was the best part that I gotta say. Everything is a steal. For this build, I'm gonna be honest, everything is Facebook, aftermarket, place, all of the stuff that you will see about it. But overall, it came out great. So right here, what we have is a carbon fiber steering wheel that has a little silver strip lining. If you guys don't know, this little strip lining is actually for you to have a straight alignment to make sure like you're not shifting to the left or to the right. And what's cool about this carbon fiber trim is actually custom made. So right here in the background, there's also some grids for your handling so you can have a better performance to it to have a real grip over your car. And of course, for manual lovers, we have a manual transmission. And everybody, I don't know how to drive manual. I tried to learn before on our Nissan Maxima before. I almost crashed. But overall, it's great. And what's crazy though, I actually got this from a brand called I think it was GK Tech. And honestly, it handles like a dream. But everybody that sees my dad's car, they are in love with this Tesla screen. For this Tesla screen, it was actually really hard to find. It originally cost nearly about $800, but we actually got for $400. You could do everything. You could do Android Play and also Apple CarPlay as well. Alright, and right here, this is actually my own car, which is a 2008 Honda Civic EX. My biggest challenge was try to make this car look good, make it nice and modern in the world. So I had to pretty much send this whole car, save my money up, try to grind and get more hours since I'm working about 2 jobs. I got into this hobby is because of the car community and my dad. And what people keep thinking that the car community nowadays is about takeovers, which is going down the streets and doing donuts, but it's nothing like that. The car community is nothing but strong and it has a great bond. I might sound like every basic person saying that, but you feel more connection to your vehicle. You make good friends, you make buddies, you make so much connections. That's the good thing about car communities. Like, they never judge you that hard. They'll give you guidance, they'll let you learn. That's the best part that I learned about them, and they help you so many times. I love this car. I did so much with it, and honestly, I'm really proud of it. Like, for me, I got this car for only $3,000, but right now I only spent about $3,000 more for it because all the modifications I've done and trying to make that of a difference. But overall, I never went over budget, and honestly, I am sitting good where I am. Overall, I hope you guys enjoy and hope you guys like my ride. I hope you guys have a good night and have a good one.
Hi, I'm Mikel Shannon Jenkins, writer, producer, director, actor. My company is Safe House Productions. I was first in love with the acting. I remember the first day I knew something was mystical about it. I watched Sidney Poitier in The Heat of the Night, and there's a scene in the flower house where the owner of the flower house, who happens to be white in the 1960s, slapped him. And he said, "I don't know who they call you, or what they call you." And Sidney Poitier slapped his ass back and said, "They call me Mr. Tips." That moment I knew. Respect. Respect.
Yeah. I would admit you. Okay, now you're speaking the truth. I'm working with that. All joking aside, man, it's important to me. It's arrogant. It tells people that you think your time is more important than theirs. It's offensive.
The most challenging aspect of being an actor is finding an equal opposite passionate actor to share screen with. Because acting is reacting. And if you don't have equal matter across from you, you don't have an equal energy, an equally yoked person, a craftsman across from you, you're never going to discover the moments that make acting magical. What makes me excited is I cast my films too. And I find those hidden jewels with the it factor. And I put myself across from those people and dance. I think that's the most difficult. I think people get an acting fame and money and not for the hardships, not for the process, not for the performance, not for the magic.
All lies matter, of course. It absolutely do. But at this particular time, listen, okay. Imagine you had a house, right? House is on fire. You call the fire department. They're not gonna come down the block and throw water on all the houses. They're gonna throw water on the house that's on fire. You feel me?
If I were to think about the roles and styles of acting that suit me, I'd say all roles, all styles. People are limitless. And if you look at their lives, they put themselves in limitless experiences. And I find joy and happiness in all of it. Storytelling in its purest form. But if I were forced to choose one genre, I'm an African American man who's been raised in the South and in this country. So of course I tend to like a little more of the dramatics. But I have comedy.
You first.
Just
listen
to me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You may be his mentor, his teacher, his trainer, and now even his coach. But when all that smoke clears, maybe you still gotta be his dad. The rest of us kids get to come home. Yours does not. Remember that.
Call it sound.
10 Alpha, take one.
Started it? Alright.
I'm from a small town in Michigan. moved to LA when I was 5. Ever since then, I've been playing soccer and, you know, growing with the game. I was born into a soccer family. My mom played soccer, my uncles, my aunts, they all played at a very high level. So yeah, I was born into it. So I guess that's where it came into my life in 1990 when I won, and that's kind of how the 42 started. We were at this meetup and we were looking for a group for ourselves, one that we could relate to, and we didn't really find anything. And that's not a knock on any of the groups that were there prior to the 42. It just wasn't one that was something that was specifically what we were looking for. And at that time, it was kind of open season to be making your own group. So we decided to form a community of like-minded people that had the same idea that we did. And that's kind of how it all started. He is a professional graphic designer, and he's a like-minded person as far as the cannabis community goes. So I felt like he had the idea. He knew what we were looking for. It wasn't something we were trying to create from scratch. It was just a modification on the original logo, and simple is perfect. The design perfect. And I kind of had the same idea with the logo as the scarf. It was just simple, nothing crazy, just to the point. We originally started with about 5 or 6 people, I would say. I mean, we had a couple more than that that were around when we would call originals, or people that had got season tickets before there was even a player on the roster or a coach in place. But as far as the actual like foundation of the group, I would say it was maybe 3 or 4 of us that were there in the very, very beginning through everything, and all of those people are still included in the group. Some more than others, some have, you know, we've been around for 6, going on 7 years now, so life's changed for some people, so you know, they have families now, they can't come around as much, but they're all still fully welcome, still fully accepted, still come around when they can, bring their families around now too. So yeah, we've grown tremendously. From back then, we had 6 to 10 people, to now we're pushing over 200 people, I would say. And last season, we were one of the fastest growing supporter groups in the 3252 as far as memberships and signups. So I would say right now we are in a very good place, and we're going to keep going forward, grow in the right direction, and that's where we're at right now. We're still fairly new as far as all the members that we have. All the growth was in this last season, really. So I would just love to see us continue that pace, continue to push the needle as far as making changes, being in the community, being more involved in anything LAFC has to offer as far as community events, showing up to matches, traveling in away days, even showing up to LAFC 2 matches. Anything LAFC has to offer, I would just love to see us have more members there, more people present, and that's kind of the direction that we're headed. So that's what I would love to see. Just continue doing what we're already doing, and allowing people to be who they are, and encouraging people to come up with ideas and ways that we can continue to help and continue to bring people together around the ideas that we love, which is cannabis, football, and family. So I don't think I have to do much other than be myself and allow people to be themselves. Steer the ship in the right direction and make sure we don't crash along the way. That's it.
And I said, it's coming home and winning that cup.
¡Ya terminó! ¡A dormir!
Beginning in the mid-1970s, the team had always been competitive, with consecutive winning seasons. The 1980 Pierce men's soccer team had been very successful with 9 wins, 3 losses, and 1 tie, led by head coach Rudy Dompe. The team played hard every game and was highly regarded. The 1980-81 team finished second in the conference and had 3 players selected by the All-State team. One of the players from that team is Jose Flores, who had fond memories of playing at Pierce College.
At 80-81, so, just 1 year. So we had fun. We had a very good team. So winning was a lot of fun. I scored a goal like took it from the back all the way, beat like the whole team and went and scored a goal. That was the funnest moment.
The team had some losses along the way, but the biggest loss came at the end of 1980 when men's soccer was cut from the program due to budget cuts. Now, 43 years later, under Coach Castillo, the men's soccer program has returned.
Having a men's program here at Pierce means a lot. It's a big deal. Come out here with a lot of intensity. You know this team is gonna run. They're not better than you guys. Soccer-wise, you guys are better. They stay on top of the academics. Make sure they go to class. Make sure that they take care of the schoolwork. That's number 1. Opportunity to showcase themselves and prepare us for the recruiting is a big part of it. Now I'm able to recruit. Now I can go after the players that I want to fit a certain. Yeah, I mean, this is the beginning. We finished with a record of 8-3. That's 500. That's not easy. To make sure that we make the playoffs next year. You know, I mean, I'm proud of the boys. I'm proud of everything that they accomplished, but I'm not satisfied. You know, our coaching staff is not satisfied. I know we can do more. I know we can get better. We should be able to compete
The
next
team
year.
finished with a record of 8 wins, 8 losses, and 3 ties. They finished 3rd in the conference. Very respectable for a first-year team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
Hey, I am Del. No, my name is Del. No. What am I saying? Hey, I'm Del Pearson, a current member of UK pop group 5 Star.
The British charts didn't have to wait long for another pop family to appear, and they were to epitomise the good taste and financial modesty of the decade. What time was it? It was 5 Star time.
Denise, Stedman, Doris, Del, Lorraine. 5 Star.
The Pearson family, 3 Essex girls and 2 Essex boys, were Britain's reversion of the Jacksons.
I've been holding out on you. I've been taking it slow and tough.
Born and raised Highbury, UK. Grew up there a couple of years, then moved to Essex, where I spent most of my childhood actually, and into my early teens. So our career started very early. I think even before my parents knew it, we'd perform at the house, myself and my siblings, my brother and my 3 sisters, to when my mom was just like, no, I want all 5 of you to be in music together as a unit, as a group. A quote that I often hear from a lot of people, and you've heard it throughout the years and you still hear it, is overnight success. And That's a very interesting concept because we did at least 3 years of groundwork. Anything from pubs with very few people in it to nightclubs for a good 3 years before our single actually caught. And then people, all of a sudden, it's always like, oh my God, where did they come from? You know, so that journey is always very, very interesting, of the amount of work that goes into it that people don't necessarily see, but they do see you when you have, so to speak, arrived. So I think we had probably 20 different singles, and I think every one of those singles charted. At least 90% of them were top 40 records, the rest probably top 60 in the UK and also in Europe and Australia and America. We recorded a record called Hide and Seek. I think it was probably the second song that we recorded, and that started to bubble a little bit, and then All Fall Down and Let Me Be the One were the real records that really started to catch a lot of traction, and then, you know, that brought us attention in the States and everywhere else, actually, Europe and the UK. It was a Saturday morning breakfast show we were doing, a little pop kids show, and this one caller called in and just spoke his mind, I guess. It caught us all off guard, and I think that's when they started to put in place the 10-second delay on recordings, because all live calls that would come through were never delayed. So when that incident happened, so I heard, you know, it actually got put into place where it was always a 10-second delay, to where they could insert anything that they needed to and, you know, cut to something else, I guess. I think when we would do promotion from the UK, and we spent a lot of time in New York, a lot of time in Los Angeles, and I always wanted to move to LA. And throughout our career, we came here many times. We were in LA probably 2 to 3 times a year. Yeah, it felt real comfortable for me. It was definitely a place I one day would like to live, and ended up moving here, and I'm here. So fast forward to present day, 5 Star are on the forever extended hiatus. And my sister still works, she still does performances and stuff back in the UK. Everybody else is doing their own thing. I'm here, I'm in music production, done, and I've been in music production the whole time I've been in Los Angeles. Throughout COVID, I got into design and build, actually. So I was building and designing podcast studios, recording studios, and I'm still doing that also. So it's getting out on the road, working with other artists, and being in the studio. So still in the music realm, 100%. I'm really enjoying where I am in my life. It's a great space and time in my life right now. My 3 beautiful children, and our little dog, Miss Goldie. There's a lot of personal growth. Do what you think and do what you feel. I think it's very important to just do, and I exercise this still today, because there are some things that I still have to do that I have not completed yet, and sometimes it's a work in progress. Just whatever you really want to do, put your mind to it, and small steps, but get it done. It's very important.
In the world of water polo, where determination meets the ripple of the pool, we follow Natalie Perez, a high school senior who has recently become the captain of the Granada Hills High School water polo team. Ever since middle school, playing water polo has always been a constant current for Natalie. But now facing high school graduation next semester, she set her eyes on something more than scoring goals for her team. She's set to lead them.
Being captain wasn't just about the title, it was about responsibility and being a leader for the team.
And so she set her eyes on becoming captain. And so, Natalie started her journey, and it all wasn't smooth strokes. Becoming captain was a challenge. She faced challenges from schoolwork and gained the trust of her teammates and her coach, which all eventually led up to her being named the captain of the water polo team.
The day I got named captain was surreal to me because it was the day that I realized my water polo dreams have been fulfilled since I was a kid.
As the new captain for the Granada Hills water polo team, Natalie led with example. She was a great player, a great student, and a great friend. The dedication she poured into every aspect of her life encouraged not only herself, but her teammates around her.
As I approach graduation, I hope to leave a legacy to others, both in and out of the pool.
And that is exactly what Natalie did. After becoming captain, she made sure to lead her team with great efficiency. They always practiced every week and were on top of all the drills and games they made. She always made sure to do a nice team meeting before each game to improve morale. And through her efforts, and through every game and every meeting she held, and after a long, hard-fought battle, they were eventually able to defeat their rivals of Eagle Rock. But this battle wasn't an ordinary game. Not only was it their rivals, on the enemy team was Natalie's cousin, Sarah. Sarah had the same dreams and ambitions as Natalie growing up. They both loved water polo, they both loved swimming, and being friendly. But they both lived differently and swayed to different schools, eventually going to the two rival schools of Granada and Eagle Rock. Now, faced with the challenge of beating her cousin, she had to overcome this feeling of guilt and show her cousin who was boss. It was a hard battle for Natalie, both physically and mentally, but she overcame these triumphs and eventually took the title. Now she was in a great place, as she was the one who was responsible for the victory against Granada's rival, Eagle Rock. Soon she had been offered scholarships from multiple colleges, from USC to UCLA to a plethora more. But she settled on the college of UC Irvine. She is now eagerly awaiting her college life, both education-wise and sport-wise. Now approaching her graduation date next semester, she eagerly awaits her new life at UC Irvine, but she cannot forget the life she had here at Granada Hills High School. She made so many friends, connections, and so many memories with this wonderful sport. And now she gets to walk that stage, remembering all the good times she had in the pool. Natalie's journey is a celebration, a testament to what determination, a right mind, the right skills, and what the right team can achieve together.
Ready? Hi, my name is Nikki Ramirez. I'm 26 years old and I'm a full-time working student. I work at McDonald's as a department manager and I've been working there for 5 years now. As soon as I clock in at my job, basically the first thing I do is I talk to the previous manager. We basically do a turnover, and then before anything else I do my rounds, such as checking, we call it a manager travel path. So I have my iPad with me and then I go around the store, like checking the restrooms, the drive-thru, all the way up to the lobby. I check everything else, if everything is working and ready for the rest of my shift. And then after I count the safe, make sure that my money is all even, and make sure that everything is good. And at the end of my shift, I do my waist. I talked to the next manager as well, and yeah. My day at work can be unpredictable. Sometimes I'll have a good shift, sometimes most of the times I do have bad shifts. As a manager, like people are calling out on my shifts, like employees calling in sick 2 hours before their shift. So those kind of difficulties can be hard for me, especially when it's busy. I go to West Coast University. I'm in the nursing program, and I've been in the program for more than a year now, and I'm 2 terms away from graduating. My routine in school is pretty the same. In this term right now, I go to school every Monday for my theory class, and every Wednesday and Thursday I have my clinicals, which is at an adult daycare. I really love it, and it's really exciting because I get to interact with old people, and most of the old people there are Koreans and Filipinos, and it really reminds me of home because of all the Filipino grandmas and grandpas. Why nursing? Every time people ask me that question, I still don't know how to answer it, but well, I chose nursing in the first place because all of my dad's side of the family are in the medical field. So, you know, I get to see their spending and all. So I feel like it's a really stable job. But the funny part is I feel like I found out the reason why I chose nursing, or why I chose that career after I chose the nursing program. It's because I realized that I do love taking care of people, especially old people, because it reminds me of my grandpas and my grandpa and my grandma back in the Philippines. How do I balance school and work? It's pretty hard because I go to school, well, I'm a full-time student, and at the same time full-time working at McDonald's 5 times a week, 8 hours shift. So I could say time management, but in reality it's really hard. I do cram a lot, but my nursing friends really keep me on track, and it's just, you go with it day by day. Yes, it does feel tiring working and studying because it's hard to juggle, especially working full-time, but it's manageable, it's doable. So do I recommend it? I don't know. I recommend it to people who are really have the passion, the time, the patience, but if not, then I don't think it's recommendable. But if you have a support system like I do, like I have my nursing friends and my family to support me, then yeah, I do recommend it.
I started playing music because it gave me something to believe in. And then I found punk music, and that kind of gave me role models from, like, you know, Kurt Cobain or John Lennon or the guys in Fugazi, or, you know, just these guys that were living. My band's been playing music together for like 3 years now, but me and the bass player have been best friends in college, and we played music together now for like 7 years. Without taking lessons or anything, I just started writing songs. I just started teaching myself and writing songs. I didn't want to be good at guitar or anything necessarily. I just wanted to be able to make my own music. I'd want to be signed to any record label that would take me in the band. But obviously being signed to one of the like big labels would be cool.
Daniel Regalado. Right. School full-time while also being a Fortnite streamer. Currently, I've been playing mostly Fortnite, Siege, GTA, and a little bit of Brawlhalla. Started playing, I want to say it was like the early fall, like say September of like 2017. So I'm an OG, homie. Recently, Fortnite came out with this OG mode, which is basically they reverted the map back to like how it was when the game first came out, and they brought like the new guns, and the whole game just has a like nostalgic feeling, you know. So it's been a lot of fun. Currently, I'm playing on the Xbox One S, and it's been running pretty smooth so far. Well, I started playing the game more, and I realized, hey, I'm pretty good at this, and people can actually make money with this, so it's a win-win, you know. I love the game. I love making money. That's how I started streaming. All right, bro. Biggest prize I won is $5,000 from a tournament. There were some big names in there like Tfue and Ninja, and I beat all of them, and I won the $5,000. So that today is the biggest prize. Absolutely. Yeah, just this month alone, I made around $15,000, so I can definitely see this being a full-time job. Not at all. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be an astronaut, but I quickly realized that was going to be kind of undoable or impossible. And while streaming, on the other hand, well, it's just right for me. So who do you usually play with? Oh, my guys, you know, we got Emerson, the homie Diego, Marshall, Chris, just to name a few. Some of my favorite pastimes are going to the gym, going out in nature, like on nice hikes, going to raves. Woo! Well, the main one that I deal with is stream snipers. Those are people who always try to get into your games and kill you. And they're watching your stream, so they know exactly where you are, exactly what you're gonna do. They're just really, really toxic and hard to deal with. But another problem I face is finding something to do with all this cash that I'm making. No, I was working at H&M, but I realized that place was corporate and evil. So I quit to pursue streaming and school full time. Well, my parents, you know, they're pretty supportive of me. In their eyes, as long as I'm making money, it's okay. And I am.
Hi, my name is Mitch, and yep, I'm a flat earther. I'd like to start by saying that it doesn't normally affect my day-to-day life. People never really ask me about it when I'm in stores or walking down the street. And that's because I never bring it up. I'm a bit worried about people and how they'll see me without knowing the full context of why we all believe in flat earth and come to these meetings. I go to flat earther meetings because it's a sanctuary for me and like-minded people to hang out and talk about our weeks. It really connects us all together because no one here feels comfortable talking to other people about it outside of this group. When I go to work, I'm scared to even mention my opinions on the moon landing. It's the only thing that's on my mind. How am I not supposed to go through the week without bringing it up? Do you really think it's possible in 1969 for there to be a telephone line to the moon? Do you really think it's possible? In these meetings, I always end up bringing it back to the moon landing, because it's really stupid how the government can say anything and people just eat it up.
I was invited. I'm definitely going to a wedding.
Yeah, I already got our gift, so we're not
Yeah,
going
well,
to
I'd have to use all the petroleum in the world to get there. The world was in a race with Russia. How would they have even gotten all the petroleum that quickly? And why can't they replicate the moon landing again? I founded this little small circle here because back in Colorado, we had a much bigger diverse group of people. The inspiration for me making this small little group is that I knew there were others like me in LA that needed a voice to be expressed. I go to the office and the only thing on my mind is where we went wrong and how we trusted the government. I look up to my mentor, Admiral Byrd. He was a general in World War II who was known for flying around in airplanes, but one day he flew a little too close past the ice wall. He wrote a diary in 1946 about how he flew a plane into Antarctica and saw a bunch of grass, mammoths, and ancient civilizations. We talk about him in meetings regularly because he definitely helped confirm Hyperborean people exist. If you're curious, that's because the government has done a good job, a good damn job, hiding them up. The Hyperborean people are the race of pure white skin and white hair. They grow their hair out to communicate with the aliens in outer space, Thor. And Thor is yet another thing the government is trying to hide from people. By making Marvel shows about, Thor isn't actually a patriotic, he's a gray alien. And they call him the God of Lightning because every time his spaceship went off, it was like a burst of lightning. The LA air has affected most of these Americans' minds into being brainwashed by whatever the government wants them to think. It's moronic, and since I gathered this group of people, it's all I look forward to coming to all week. I hope someday, in my lifetime, I can get to Leviathan's Gate, or for simpler terms, the Ice Wall, and get to Thoth, the nomad continent, and talk to Hyperboreans about the lies of the stars, and they will laugh with me knowing they're just our old fuel pods getting to Earth. I know my family and circle are proud of me, shaping it out in Cali. So I just love what I do.
Hi, my name is Aleda Reese. Before I became a dog walker, I was a student, full-time student at LABC. I was going in for film, but unfortunately, because my mother was a breeder for dogs, I got my career path as becoming a dog walker. The reason why I want to become a dog walker because I love seeing different types of dogs every day, and I love seeing how the reactions are, especially with the big dogs and the smaller dogs, with the difference. Hi, so my daily routine is I wake up every day at 9 a.m. Get myself ready, have breakfast, and then I make sure my babies have breakfast as well before I leave, and then I will leave to go pick up all my clients and all their babies. I usually receive up to 20 dogs a day, depending on which clients are getting today. It could be more than 30 or it could be more than 40. It just depends. Besides that, I do walk them. I do also do boarding as well. So if you are going on the trip or anything like that, I could always babysit them as well. So these are the two major clients that I do have as a daily basis. This one is Baby, and she is 1 year old, and she's a Chihuahua mixed terrier. And this one right here next to me is Bella. She is 13 years old, and she's a Tico Chihuahua. And then the other one that just passed by, her name is Mocha, and she's a Chihuahua as well. Why I love dogs and the reason why I want to become a dog walker is because I love the way dogs react, and I especially love it when they make me happy and they release all my stress that I have throughout the day.
What's good? My name is Baby Oshando. I'm a pro skateboarder, content creator, music artist, all the above from Queens, New York City, and I'm 25 living in LA. I got into skateboarding from these little things right here. Whenever I used to visit my dad, I'd always be like this, just making noise, fingerboarding and all that. He was like, nah, like we're not gonna do that, it's too loud, you gotta do something, you know what I'm saying? You gotta grow up. You gotta do something a man would do. And even though I'm still a kid, I'm like, you know, let me just try regular skateboarding. So I found a skateboard in the garbage, around one of my friends' houses and everything. And that's how I first got into skating. I was just riding around, pushing around, popping, trying to learn tricks and everything. And then that slowly just led into me learning tricks, making skate friends, going to the skate park, going to the city. And then, you know me, over time I just got better and better, got sponsors, was able to start filming stuff. Ended up moving to California, got a bunch of big sponsors, and then, yeah, became a pro skateboarder with my, I actually got my board right here with my name on it. It's my first pro skateboard right here. And this was like 10, 11 years along down the lines of being a skateboarder. So that's how we got here. So when I mentioned I came to California and got sponsored by these big companies and everything, one of those companies just so happened to be a company called Erase Project, which is a big skate group that I'm a part of, and we make a lot of YouTube videos and all that. But the good thing about that group is that not everybody just skates. Like some of those people actually make music as well, and that's actually how I think. But along down the lines, I ended up wanting to make music myself too, and like being that I was around those people, they kind of introduced me to making music. My first time actually making music was off of an iPhone and a pair of headphones, and my friend was showing me this app on your phone that you can make music off of. His name was Han, and the app was called BandLab. And literally we was just in the garage in my friend's house on a skate trip, and I was just making music on my phone, and that slowly led up into the, I think that was like 3-4 years ago, something like that I've been making music. And ever since then, I've just been not like going 100% at it just because I do so many different things, but it's like a new passion that I just like fell in love with, like alongside with skateboarding and everything else.
Fresh on the top of the phone, I didn't wanna fuck you, Sean to be on. Tryna get high, go all of the drone. Count these hundreds, turn me on. Or can I lie, I be on some other shit. Smoke big gas, double zip. I'm just good off in the...
Alright, so I made this one song in my apartment. It was actually on the balcony. It was called Retro Feelings. And I just, same thing, I made it on the phone and everything, and then I went to the actual studio just because I felt like I really believed in the song. And I put the song out. One of my friends used it in a YouTube video that's part of the Erase group that I was talking about. He actually made the group. And that song actually ended up hitting almost 2 million streams. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I'm just a skateboarder. I never thought I could actually pull the numbers like that or like actually do something like that. So that motivated me to just take music more serious, especially because when you're a skateboarder in the industry, like, you're not really respected if you make music and all that. So I kind of wanted to just branch out and like prove to myself that I could do it, because I knew a lot of people didn't like accept that kind of stuff.
I could never switch up for the fame. Dirty money never heal the pain. Stack up every penny that I make, then bring it to the gang and pave the ways. These are times that I will never know.
You have now entered Soraya Worldwide. We've come to take over. This is our world now.
Another thing that I kind of fell in love with once I moved out to LA was starting up my own business. And when I say business, like I've always wanted to have a clothing brand because I don't know, I never had the flyest clothes growing up in school. I never could afford a lot of stuff. So I knew once I got into a position to gain like a fan base and like actually do something myself, that I was gonna make a brand and I was gonna make it for everybody that felt like the same way as me when I was young and I couldn't afford anything. So I started this brand. It's called Survival Wide. It's mainly catered to like skateboarders and people that just like, you know what I'm saying, the skateboarding lifestyle and everything. But it's something that I've been doing for like the past like 3 years as well, and I love it. It's like my kid. It's like my baby. I've always liked content creating. I used to always like be in love with YouTube videos when I was younger. And I would actually make like little YouTube videos with my tech decks, like the mini skateboards and everything. But at some point, once I started living in LA, I knew I wanted to like further my content, and that's where TikTok came into play. Like when the app first launched, I actually did not want it at all. My girlfriend was the one that actually told me to download it, and like I had a video that went viral like within the first month of me posting that kind of changed my life. Like that same week was like I was getting noticed around the area where I was at, and then I was just posting every day. Like fast forward 3 years later, that's like my full-time. It's basically like my full-time job. Even though I do like all these other things, it's like one of my main sources of income is like where a lot of people know me from, and it's just like I don't even know where I'd be without it. Like every day of my life really consists of me just like posting TikToks, making TikToks. And now I have like 4 different accounts where I'm just posting all the time and like putting my friends on to making videos and just like making like a little content group and everything. So shout out to social media. My main piece of advice for everybody is to not take criticism from nobody and just trust in what you believe in, because people are always going to tell you that you can't do one thing or you should probably stick to doing one thing. But if you have a mind like me, bro, like you always just want to chase a bunch of different things, and you can't let somebody tell you that you cannot be a jack of all trades. You got to just chase everything, because at least, even if you fail, you at least tried it, or you at least came somewhat far in it, you know what I'm saying? So just don't take advice from anybody, go 100%, and don't be scared to take risks, because being scared is not going to get you there. My name is Baby Oshano. Hopefully you guys got to know a little bit about me.
For real, for real. I count out my money, I do all this shit right on top of the hill. Yeah, for real, yeah, for real. I get the motion alone and I'm here, what the fuck is the deal? How does it feel? None of this real, none of this real, nigga for real. Nigga for real, nigga for real. It's your shine, yeah. It's your shine, it's your shine,
In 1989, my mother came to the United States of America. She was a young immigrant woman. So for that period of time, I grew up with my grandmother, my uncles, and my aunts back in Honduras. So for 4 years, I was in Honduras. She left me in Honduras until she was able to get her green card and my green card. She simultaneously filed for both of us. So I was very fortunate in the fact that I was able to come to this country legally at 9 years old. And I just didn't know what to expect when I arrived to this country. Soon after, within a few days or so, my mother enrolled me into the school. It was a weird experience because I didn't know the language. I didn't speak English at all. I don't want to say difficult, but it was a weird transition because I had this thick Honduran accent, and I remember the kids just making fun of it. So as I got older, I realized, you know what? I need to have better opportunities in this country. I tried it out. It didn't work out very well. I had some issues with my background. But fast forward to 2020, that's when I really said to myself, you know what? I really have to be more responsible, not just for the benefit of myself, but for the benefit of my own family as well. An entire year went on, and then I remember receiving the letter or the appointment to go to the office and take this verbal test. I remember sitting in the gentleman's office right across from him in the desk, across from this gentleman, and he began to ask me all these questions. I remember him saying, you know what, you've passed. I will leave the questions as is. There's no problem there, but we need you to come back and take care of this particular issue. And I remember the first time when I first tried it out in 2007, I was very upset. I was very upset, discouraged, and disappointed. But this time, fast forward to 2020, or 2022 actually, I had a different state of mind, a more mature state of mind. Try to be more responsible for my past mistakes, owning up to those mistakes. And I remember I got up from the chair and I thanked the man. I thanked him. I told him, I said, thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Thank you for this time. I will try to do my best to get all the paperwork needed for this process. And I wasn't so upset. I was more focused on what I needed to do next. And so I focused on that. So I thanked him and I left. And I remember doing the process, going through criminal background checks and all of that stuff, and filing the paperwork and all that good stuff. And it wasn't for about another year, in December of 2022, that they called me back in. But this time it wasn't to do the test. This time it wasn't to show them anything. This time it was just to receive my citizenship. And I remember just being very happy, very excited, thrilled to be an American citizen. And went back, suited up for the ceremony, did the ceremony, did the oath. And I remember when they said to me, congratulations, you are an American citizen.
네, 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 곽혜민이고요. 저는 대한민국에서 태어났고 그 다음에 서울에서 자랐습니다. 우선은 저희 할아버지는 6.25 전쟁 때 북한에서 남한으로 내려오신 케이스신데요. 우선 전쟁이 일어나셨을 때 그 주변 사람들 말로 이제 남한으로 가면 조금 더 풍요로운 삶을 살 수 있다는 말에 이제 위협을 무릅쓰시고 이제 남한으로 내려오셨습니다. 우리 할아버지는 남한으로 내려오셔가지고 이제 저희 할머니는 남한 분이시거든요. 그래가지고 남한 생활을 하시면서 이제 저희 할머니 만나게 되었고 그 이후로 이제 저희 아빠, 큰아빠, 그다음에 저희 막내 이모, 고모를 이제 낳게 되셨고요. 이제 그로 인해서 저도 태어났습니다. 그렇게 큰 영향 끼치지는 않는 것 같은데요. 아무래도 그냥 저희 할아버지 때 세대는 조금 그런 것에 대한 게 익숙해가지고 그렇게 저한테는 큰 영향을 끼치지는 않는 것 같아요. 그냥 그저 저희 할아버지가 북한에서 내려왔다는 것만 알고 있지 그걸로 인해서 제가 뭐 불이익을 당했다던가 아니면 그걸로 인해서 조금 더 우월한 삶을 산다던가 그런 거는 없었던 것 같아요. 아무래도 제가 태어나지 않았을 것 같은데요. 저희 할아버지는 계속 북한에서 사셨다면 아무래도 저희 할머니랑 만나지 못했다면 저희 아빠를 낳지 못하셨을 테고 그리고 저도 태어나지 못했겠죠. 반반인 것 같은데요. 아무래도 이제 저희 할아버지가 저한테 예전에 말을 하셨는데 이제 남한에서의 삶이 아무래도 좀 더 풍족스럽기도 하고 그다음에 이제 남한에 대한 삶의 질이 조금 더 높기 때문에 그런 거에 대한 조금 더 만족감은 크신 것 같은데 아무래도 이제 가족들이 복 그리우신 것도 있고 당연히 이제 태어나신 고향도 이제 많이 그리우실 테고 아무래도 반반이지 않으셨을까라는 생각이 드네요. 감사합니다.
Ой, милый мій, а я твоя, пусти мене, зійшла зоря, проснеться матінька моя, буде питати, була я, проснеться матінька моя, буде питати, була я. А ти їй дай такий отвіт, яка чудова майська ніч, весна йде, красу несе, а в цій красі радіє все.
We're a Ukrainian family that lives in the heart of Los Angeles. Me and my wife built our family in Los Angeles. Since then, of course, we have relatives in Ukraine, Kiev, that's where I was born. Pictures that I have, it's 4 o'clock, sunrise just started, empty streets, and a sirene, that military sirene that sounds like a wild animal. Even now I'm waking up every morning, you know, the time that your brain is just starting to waking up, that news of what happened, it's still there. It's still like first day. And you will probably think, what if it's not true? If it was a dream, nightmare, and then you get back to reality, it is nightmare and it is happened. All the bad things that may happen with you to affect in your emotion, that will happen. When it happened on a day one, we've been on the phone almost 24/7. Talking with friends, with people you know, but you probably didn't talk for a while, for like a few years. We start calling everybody. My cousin with their kids, with kids of their kids, has to be moved away from their home, from their house, from their routine lives. Moved not just a few kilometers or a few miles away, moved to all another country. So they've been evacuated to Germany. I remember one of the streets where we usually walked home from the school. The rocket shots the building, and half of the building, it's a 30-floor building probably, apartment building, with all the people inside. It shots and it took off from that building a big chunk piece, and the big hole in the building is, for me it was like, looks like a big Godzilla with the open jaw just bite that building, like a piece of meat has been chopped off, and all of the parts, belongings on the floor, on the streets, and people running away, hiding in the corners or trying to save themselves inside the underground.
When the Russians bombing civilians, it's like, it's really hard because nobody can even accept this inside. That today you are having dinner and then like after 5 minutes, the bomb coming in your apartment and you can be dead or you can be alive, but your family can be dead. And I know a lot of stories like that, of course, because I have a lot of friends and a lot of families still there in Kyiv. So I think this is the difference. I think civilians, it's never prepared for that. When my family called me and I called them back, of course, like immediately when I saw the news in American, on the TV here in LA, I immediately called to my family, to my friends, and said, "Are you okay? How it's even possible?" I hope we're gonna be like European, democratic, good country. That my people who I love so much, it's gonna live like life with freedom. That's my hope for my Ukraine.